Hey, good evening, and this is a late episode of Mini Pot's Week in Review. So this should be my episode 13, I think, season 2. So I've been doing this for a little bit over 2 years, or a little bit over a year and 3 or 4 months. Um, and occasionally I have things come up where I can't get to it because I like to do these on Thursday, Friday night, Saturday morning. I've done a few on Sunday just because of life. This week, other things had to fill the gap, and I still have other things I still need to do, but we are going to do those. I have the week. It is spring break here in my home, and so the kids are home for the day, and I am going to be staying with them for part of the week, and my wife for another part of the week. The which is great. It's a nice change. Um, Usually, I would have to go in and work, and then get out early and come home and have to be a majority of the day with them, which I don't mind, but it gets hard. And I know that other people watch this are moms and dads, and it's not easy. So what did I accomplish? Not a whole hell of a lot. I have these elk, and I still have more elk to do. I have two dead ones that I need to finish, and I have two or three fawns, two fawns. Then I have a whole slew of woolly rhinos. And I'm going to be doing the woolly rhinos. Um, I'll probably be painting them, but I won't be getting them based up. So these are the two corpses that I have, and I'm probably going to be putting those on bases. So sorry about that interruption. I had someone that needed help with stuff. It is bedtime here in Shea Mini Pot. Um, So I have to put these guys on bases. Well, I paint them up and then put them on bases. But the detail on them. Now this is no, Stone Axe miniatures. They are on, oh God, one of those places that you download STLs from. Um, I forget the name. The um, anyway, Google them. They will pop up. They've had a couple Kickstarters, and they do wonderfully. They have a selection of wonderfully detailed animals and corpses. I ordered from the same source that I got these guys from, a mammoth and some wolves. So let's see how those come in. This is Mandarin. They are on Etsy. I have found them just Googling them, or not Googling them, but doing the search on Etsy. And I've saved them as one of my favorites. But in any case, you didn't need to know that. Now you do. Um, got those guys done. So I have my bison and the elk, and to hunt, I don't have a lot of big game done yet. I do have the miniatures for the wool. This is for hide, stone, and bone. Um, I've been on this binge recently, and there it is. Look at it. It's a cool book, well worth it. 16 to 25 bucks, 29 bucks, depending on when and where you get it. I checked it out recently on Amazon. I think it was $26.95, $27.95. Um, I will post a picture of it. It's worth it. Um, and I don't get anything from it. I am not a sponsored by Osprey or anything. I just like the games they do. This is like one of the woolly rhinos. I think it's a tad small in scale, but I'm okay with that. Um, I think the woolly rhino should be just a smidge larger. longer and higher, but not having seen that many rhinos, I really don't know for sure, but that's here nor there. But these are beautiful miniatures. The detail's nice. It is, and they're not too heavily detailed, but they're just enough. And there is available for the so in Hide Stone and Bone, and I've said this a couple times, so forgive me for repeating myself. You sometimes are hunting animals that have a youth or a yearling, a calf of some kind, and so they have um, woolly rhino calves, and they have the fawns or calves for the elk, and I don't know with the company that did the bison that I got those from. I got them on Badger Games, and they may be Foundry, I think. Um, Foundry has some. This company has some calves or a calf, and you get three. You get a daddy, mommy, and calf. Um, at least I'm assuming that's the way they are arranged. I'm giving it a lot and reading a lot into that. I know. I have a couple dead ones. I'm getting a couple corpses for elk and a couple um, for a mammoth. And I hope the mammoth is the right scale to the DZ miniatures, but we shall see. So it's one of those nights where it's going to be endless interruptions. So thank goodness this is just a short one, sort of. So I don't know when I'll work on these. I've got to patch up some of the bases over here. You can see the white spots. So what I'll do is I'll do an Elmer's glue, water, and some soap mixture, and I'll drop some stuff, and that'll help cement everything down. And I will clear everything off the paper so I can um, recycle the stuff that falls off. And I know this hobby, it's not expensive in it, but it's not cheap, if that makes any sense to you. And if I can save something or make something last longer, I will. Now, my problem with these guys is they are resin, so I super glue them to some little white styrene sheet and then glue them on the base so they stick a little bit higher. That's what you're seeing is white. And that way when you put they look like they're walking on the base instead of sunk down into it. Now this is the bases by War Games Atlantic, and I need to order some more, but that's a different story. I was going to do something over this weekend when they had the Adepticon sale, but life happened and I forgot. Hey, I forget. I always am doing this at the very end, and we're getting close to this, but please remember to like and subscribe. It means a lot. Hopefully you are getting some motivation, some inspiration from my little drips and drabbles of my project. Have 3 kids, married, work full time, and like a lot of you, I'm sure. And hopefully this is giving you a point of reflection, something to think about, something to pay attention to, and maybe I'm taking that idea that if you spend 15 to 20 minutes working on your hobby or a project, even though it's not complete, you gave it the 15 or 20 minutes and it is time well spent, and I would get rejuvenated by thinking about this. I will go into a zone and just get stuff done, and it'll be 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, and I'll be like, huh. And I'm sure other people are out there like that. So I have been watching Blood of Zeus on Netflix, enjoying that. Um, I don't know if I finished the Netflix series or not. My kid got a little bit freaked out, so he went back to a couple seasons and is rewatching from older stuff, and we'll see where that gets us. I would like to finish that. It is not a life or death thing, as you can imagine. So the reading, I finally finished Satanic Brides of Dracula. I did that last week a week and a half ago, and I've been reading Outlaws, a Star Wars novel, um, and I'm enjoying it. I I'm taking it slowly. For the first couple of days, I got a couple hundred. Well, it's close to 400 pages long, and I'm about a third of the way through. Um, so I got 100 pages in, and before I knew it, and I'm hooked. It's at a weird transition space where the main character is having to keep certain things secret, and we'll see how that goes. The So these fit perfectly on the 25 millimeter bases. The corpses, however, are not. And I have a 40 millimeter base and I have a 50 millimeter base, and they're not working there. And I did pick up some other things to do some scenery, some grass and that type of thing. I have some rope to do those bushes, and where you take it's like a hemp rope, and you cut it, you glue a piece of it off. Yes, this is 100 feet, and this will last me a long time, more so than I care to. But there's a couple videos on YouTube about how to make that, and they look okay. They are a bush. I originally sort of liked the Monster Fight Club stuff, the little plastic domes that were the different colors that you could paint, and I really liked those, but I just don't think I don't know. This is just time and my money, and versus just the money, and yes, I'll have to paint them, and it's a different thing going on. The So I'll be doing some bushes. I'll be doing some little. Um, I found what they're calling a Einstein tile, and there is a YouTuber who specializes in terrain, and he has this RP Terrainworks, RP, I forget how it goes, and worth watching. I enjoyed it a lot, his stuff. Um, but I hate to subscribe to his channel, which it looks like it would be worth it. It's a little bit expensive for me. It's like $15 this is on Patreon, a month, and I don't do 3D printing and that type of stuff, which he offers a lot of, but he has a lot of videos up on YouTube where you can get ideas, and from those ideas you can do something yourself. And I have been really intrigued with them. And he had this neat little idea of taking tile that was sort of a randomish pattern, and they sort of interlock, and you do it on acetate. And of course I can't find those. I'll have to print out a couple copies. These. And the idea is, stick this to the back of a sheet of acetate. You trace out the patterns you want. Like you'll do one of just one square, and then one of two, one of like the larger square here, and you'll lay these down on your play mat or your playboard and sort of cover your everything. I won't do that. I don't mind the abstract of having blotches of color. And this is the specialized terrain. I'll be gluing a little magnet to one side, and that way it doesn't move. It's there on the thing, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. He has a couple of very detailed videos about that, and I couldn't quite figure out a couple of things on them, but now that I have most of the stuff I need, I think I will be able to. That way you can put your different foliage, like your debris, your garbage, your grasses, your that type of stuff. I'll be doing that type of thing. So this stuff that I have going around this, I'll be putting on that with maybe some grass tufts, and then I'll do some small bush bases which will fit on that. And that's where if you 3D printed everything, you could 3D print your little bush, and you could make a appropriate base that would fit the pattern. A little bit complicated, but I think it's worth the extra effort, just to make it kick it up a notch. Now this is working on a magnetized board or magnetic board. The pictures, if you watch my video that's going up this, where I give some thoughts on hidestone and bone, the pictures, I'm playing on a old card table, I think is the right term, from my parents. It's a nice one, but it is a little bit smaller than the 3-foot recommended play area, and it's has the puffy part and a cushion part in the middle, which is cool, but you can see where it would be not the best source or the best play area. So I'm going to get a 3-foot by 3-foot square board, and like what I have for my 2-foot play area. And why don't I play this on the 2-foot? I might try a couple of scenarios, but I really am beginning to see part of the tension and part of the gameplay. They move fast enough where you're in action 2 to 3 turns. By cutting down the play area, you're cutting down on some of the terrain features, and it's a whole thing. It becomes by making it becomes more simple, and it just becomes a fight. And I'm not sure if that makes any sense to you or not, but it's not conducive to the story we're trying to tell of the cavemen wandering onto a space and that type of thing. In any case, the 2-foot by 2-foot is fortunately in a lot of games. Forbidden Psalm and all the Forbidden Psalm series, there is like 1 or 2 where he might have it a little bit smaller area for a couple scenarios and a little bit larger for a couple scenarios. But for most part, it is 2-foot by 2-foot. And the nice thing about that is you are thrust into action right away. There's no preparation and feints type of thing going on. Also, for Warriors of Athena, 3-foot by 3-foot is probably where you want to be. And the idea of how I want to play Warriors of Athena, I think the 3-foot by 3-foot board is where I want to be. the, I'll get a plyboard, some liquid nails, and a appropriate size sheet of magnetic steel. Um, and I don't mean magnetic, things that a magnet can stick to it. Some steels are not magnetic or lesser magnetic, and so I'm not looking for that. I'm looking, and then I'll spray paint it a bunch of different colors: blacks, greens, grays, and then I'll be doing these splotches of appropriate terrain. So, like Warriors of Athena would be a Grecian or a Mediterranean European, so it would have some sand, rocks, and some bushes on it, or some greenish stuff. This more of this type of stuff, more foresty. Oh, I almost said Trench Crusade, which is not the right game. Last War or Forbidden Psalm, I'll be doing a. So I'll have different sets of terrain. This is the other basing stuff that is by Sprue Dude, and this is the, he calls it his trench foot, but it's a nice earthy, graveyardy. For my stuff for Silver Bayonet, I'll probably do more of the foresty stuff, but this is a real nice, I think it must be coconut husk ground up and with some other stuff. You don't get these containers anymore. What you get is a plastic bag, but I'm glad I ordered it when I did to get these containers. The different projects down the road, different ideas down the road, and forgive me for losing the tangent or going off on another tangent there. And so that's where we're at, what I got done. Got these, made some progress on my reading, almost finished with Blood of Zeus, looking for different things to watch on whatever. We have, I was looking for anime for kids, and I found out there's a couple of things that I will either have to renew or do something with my HBO subscription. There's different shows there, and so that's what I'll be doing for them, and I forget their names. On Netflix, I found Firen, and I'm enjoying that. Almost finished season 1, and I am really just killing time here, and I apologize for talking so long. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you are able to get some games in. I know I'm going to try my best to get some games in and do all the different projects I have going on and finish them. I have a couple things for one of my wife's friends and one for my wife, and some for myself, as well as the gaming stuff in the house and the family. All stuff you can empathize with. And of course, my spring break is going to be not a lot of fun, but we're going to make it fun. We have some agendas, and we have some kids that struggle a little bit with school, so I'm not going to totally make it like an impromptu vacation. They're going to have to do some school stuff. So I will be the bad daddy. So in any case, I really appreciate this. And one more time, I'm going to attempt to say goodbye. Have a great night and happy gaming.